You were created by greatness. You're not a mistake. You were given gifts and talents to make an impact in this world. And as you do that, you'll be able to create a world that's aligned with who you were designed to be and who you were meant to be. And that's something that's so awesome. You have this body, and this body tells you when you're living a lie. It tells you when you're frustrated. It tells you when you're overworked. It tells you when you're not aligned with who you are, because the frustration builds. One of the greatest explanations that I heard about frustration, and I heard this from one of my mentors, Peter Sage. He says that frustration is the difference between your expectation and your reality. And I thought that that was so impactful, that that was so important, because we have this vision of how things should be, but there's also a reality of how things are. And when those two, there's separation, you feel that frustration, and your body feels that frustration, and that body has energy that expresses itself through that frustration. So the more that you are living in a life where you're frustrated, you come home, you're tired, you're exhausted, it's because that balance is gone, that frustration is there. So looking inwards and saying, okay, maybe is this the right activity? Am I doing it too much? Being curious. And that's another thing too, is I don't know that we're curious enough in what we do and the things that we are involving ourselves in. And when we're feeling things, why am I feeling these things? Our emotions are like a check engine light. Okay, let's get curious. Let's run some codes and see what's going on. So all of these things are some of the reasons why I decided to do what I want to do, to take this step, to take this jump, is because I feel like the more people who are empowered to live the life that they were created for, to live to have the potential that they were ultimately created for, the greater the life that they're going to live, but also they're going to unlock that road for all of those who follow behind. They're not going to just blend in like sheep, but they're going to be their own individual person. And I think that individualism and authenticity are two of the things that we're just not seeing in today's world. So how do we maneuver that? How do we create that? And it starts from within. So that was one of the thoughts that I had and wanted to kind of share with you today. I do have a question that I got, and I want to read that to you here. And it says, how do I set and achieve realistic goals in my professional and personal life? Want to talk about goals here for a sec, and in answering that question. One of the reasons why we struggle with goals is that they are too broad. They're not specific enough. And what I mean by that is, say I want to get better at my job. That's my goal. That's very vague. And yes, it can be measurable. You can have success. But what about your job specifically do you want to get better at? Because once you drill it down and have it super specific, you can start looking at, okay, what do I need to learn to get good in this specific area? Who can help me understand what I can do in this specific area? And as you're able to do that and dwindle it down to a very specific thing, then that is when the rubber meets the road. You should be able to check it off like a yes, no. Did you do it? Did you get better? Did your decision making get better? Did your temptations not impact you as much as they could? Did you use your thought mechanisms, or did you use your processes to battle back when these negative thoughts started to come into your head, and the negative self-talk and the self-doubt? So I feel like when it comes to goals, being as specific as you possibly can, and that is something that you absolutely can hold yourself responsible to and say, did I do better this week? Did I not do better this week? And as you do that, absolutely 100%, you're going to see progress in your life and in those things. And I think that that is something that is absolutely something that is overlooked when we talk about goals. And if it is, for example, a weight loss goal, I am going to work on making better choices when I go out to eat. Or I am going to, because I don't trust myself when I go out to eat, I'm going to eat less. I'm going to food prep more. Those are specific goals within that realm that are going to help you get to where you want to go. So you want to challenge the general goal and drive down deep as much as you possibly can. And I really feel like that's going to help you. So I hope that that answered your question, and I believe that as you do that, you're going to see the progress that you are looking for. Okay. Hey, Dan, how are you? So the next question that I have here is, how do I build a successful environment? And so environment encapsulates a lot of different things. It can be what you surround yourself with, who you surround yourself with. And those are some of the things, the who, the what, with the resources that you surround yourself with. All of these different things are going to contribute to that environment that you are looking for. Now, one of the major impacts for the environment is the weaker that you are, and you've got to be honest with yourself, the weaker that you are in your motivation or your mindset, the stronger the environment needs to be. If the environment is not as strong as it can be and your mindset is garbage, there's no way you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. Because one, you're not motivated. Two, there's nobody around you who's going to keep you accountable to do those things. And that is something that is absolutely critical. So when you're looking at your environment, you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with, one, the right set of people, and two, the right things. You need to avoid things, right? If you want to quit smoking, you want to avoid that time where you and your friends or coworkers go out and smoke, or the friends that come over that like to smoke. You need to do that. You need to avoid places that encourage you to smoke. And as you do that, you're going to be able to build that mindset without that temptation. It is so hard to build a stronger mindset when your temptation is right there in front of you. It is hard to want to lose weight when you're sitting in a all-you-can-eat buffet. The temptation is too strong. So putting yourself in the right environment is huge. And when you're talking about with the right people, as you are wanting to break away and elevate who you are as an individual and learn more information, are you surrounding yourself with people who are going to do that with you? Or are you surrounding yourself by the negative Nellies, the gossipers, the ones that are going to surround you with the same things that are keeping you where you are? And it's science, right? If you put 100 watts into a 60-watt light bulb, it's going to blow the light. That's just facts. So if you want to have a mindset that's a 4, but your environment and what you surround yourself with is a 2, every time you elevate above that 2, you're going to start feeling uncomfortable. And because our ego loves our comfort zone, we are going to ease back into that number 2 level. Now, when it comes to resources, when it comes to mentors, when it comes to things along those lines, they don't need to be people that are living. They can be from books. They can be from videos. They can be access to things. They that aren't necessarily maybe your neighbor across the street. We live in a time right now where we have access to resources in such a fantastic way. You could look on YouTube and type in a topic and learn about that topic. Something that's awesome, right? Napoleon Hill is not around. He passed away a long time ago, but through books, through videos, through YouTube, I'm able to listen to things and learn things that otherwise I wouldn't have access to. 50 years ago, we would not have had access to those things, and now we do. And I find that is so amazing. So the excuse that, oh, I don't have access to those things. If you can watch a TikTok video, you can watch a YouTube video. If you can, and one of the scenes that I absolutely love, Good Will Hunting, where Matt Damon is in the bar, and he's got this kid rattling off a bunch of information, and Matt Damon's character tells him, "Oh, you learned all that spent thousands upon thousands on a college education, where you could have learned the same things for $3.50 in late fees at the library." You don't need to spend all of this money to obtain certain information. You don't need to go out and go to all these different places of the world to gather some information. Yes, the experience is nice, but the information is available through different resources. If you want to learn about a specific topic, the information is available to you. And now this is one of the things that I do. This is what I feel is a good practice for just in general, is you take the foremost popular or predominant people in this space, and you research all four. And you find what four things did they share that are in common, because then those become the non-negotiables in that space. If you're looking for time management, okay, I've got 4 time management books. What things do those 4 books have in common? They're going to have it. And then as you do that, those become, hey, this is my action plan. I need to be doing these 4 things. If it's healthy eating, whatever it is, I'm going to look at these, and these 4 things are the things that I'm going to implement, and I'm going to implement them immediately. Another thing with environment and mindset is learning how to say no. You've got to be strong enough to say no. And it's okay to say no. Because at the end of the day, this is about you and your growth and what you're looking for. So if something outside of the environment that you're looking to establish is there, you've got to learn to say no. Because that is ultimately going to empower you to be able to say yes to the things that you want to do. If you want to binge watch Yellowstone and watch 3 seasons of Yellowstone in 3 days, right? One of the things that I've challenged myself to do is I take that time and I spend 30 minutes working with my daughter on her piano. And the other thing is that I am learning Latin with my son and doing that. So 1 episode of Yellowstone or learning piano and Latin with my son. Like that for me, that's not even close. I know what I want, and so I'm choosing the environment that's going to be conducive to what I want to achieve. And you've got to be able to say no to those things, because your body's going to be like, man, today was exhausting. Today was frustrating. I just need to decompress. And that's totally fine. But you want to set a time limit on it. You want to set, okay, I'm gonna, if scrolling's your thing, I'm gonna scroll, but I'm gonna scroll for 15 minutes and then I'm gonna move on to something else. If it is TV shows, I'm gonna watch TV show, and then I'm gonna watch 1 episode and then move on. Otherwise, you can't put a cap on that, and you will sit there, and then before you know it, it's 2:30 in the morning. And then the next day you go in, and you're tired because you only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then you're reliving the same day over and over and over again. So when it comes to building that successful environment, we'll go ahead and review. You want to hang out with the right people. Now, you want to establish yourself with some friends that you could actually help inspire you, that can give you a talk, that can work with you. 2, have resources. Those can be biographies, they can be self-help, that could be whatever that is, that can be through books, through videos, through whatever that is. But you want to have resources that have been and are going where you want to go. And 3, you want to be around things that inspire you. You want to be around things that inspire you, that uplift you, and build that into your routine as well. As we're talking about just overall environment, creating a routine that builds on that environment. And as you build on your routine, you build on your resources, your mentors, the things that you consume, whatever that is, either by food or by book or vision or television, whatever that is, you're consuming stuff that's going to elevate you to where you want to go, and friends that are going to uplift you and that are going to inspire you. And that would be one of the questions that I would think about, is when was the last time you were inspired, and who inspired you? And if you think about the last 3 people that inspired you, and one of them's the same person, like the same person keeps popping up, you absolutely want to have that person in your circle, because they're the person who's going to make sure that you're going where you want to go. When I was in high school, I had this friend of mine. His name was Joey, and he'd go and get my lunch. And I didn't drink sodas. I still am not a big soda drinker. Well, he would go and pick up our lunches, because I'd always get out late to lunch. And I'd come in, and he'd be like, "Hey, here's lunch." And he'd always get a soda. And he's like, "I know you don't drink sodas, but I got this for me." And it was just kind of fun, because he knew that I didn't drink sodas, and he held me accountable to not drinking sodas. But the way that he did it, he's like, "I'll jump on the grenade for you." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you're just getting a free soda every day." But surround yourself with the people that will support you in what you're doing and will lift you up when you're having a rough day. And you want to make sure that those people are definitely in your environment. All right, awesome. So I'm going to be doing this a few times a week. If you would like to have your question answered here, you want to go to, and it's right here on Facebook, submit questions to questions@herouint.com. I know on Instagram you can't see it. But the goal is to be live on all the major platforms. So if you are on all major platforms, check us out at HeroUint. And that will make that happen. Obviously, we're just getting into the social media space. So with that being said, as we're building those channels and as we hit different thresholds, we'll be available to do more lives, take more questions if you are more comfortable on whatever platform that you are on. But you want to submit your questions at questions@herouint.com. And we will be able to pull up and answer any questions that you have during these lives. And like I said, if you can't make it to one of the lives, and we do answer your questions, these will be posted on the social media. So I am very conscientious about using names. I'm just going to read the questions off and leave the names out. But if you are going through something and you want to have a conversation, go ahead and you can email me or if you are looking for more and looking to get through something, or to achieve something, I do recommend that you go to HeroUint.com, and in there you can take a free assessment, or you can book a free strategy session with me. I am looking to take on 15 clients currently. I have 15 openings for this upcoming quarter, and I look forward to speaking with you. But until then, thank you for popping in to our first live, had our first questions answered, and I look forward to talking with you and answering some more of your questions in the future. Thank you so much. Cheers, and God bless.